Welcome to Chumash and Adaf for holding in Zevachim Dav Kuf Tezvov. The Gemarah with base brings a machlokes. When the Bechoros stopped doing avodah and the Kohanim took over? One shita in the Tanoim holds that already from Har Sinai the Kohanim were the chosen ones, and the other opinion is that only once the Mishkan was built, so then the avodah was the Kohanim, and that's what our Mishnah says. Now Rashi in Chumash brings that the pasuk in Bamidbar it says Mitoich b'nei Yisrael. So he said that Yisrael were, so to speak, renting the Levim to replace them. Why? Because if Yisrael saw avodah b'Bechoros, once the Bechoros did the avodah, ukeshechatu ba'egel nifsal. Once they did chet ha'egel, they were nifsal. V'alevim shlavdu avodah zarah nifchoru tachteim. So Am Yisrael were nifsal from being the avodah, the Shevet Levi, from the time of Chet Ha'egel. So how does that fit with our Gemarah? Our Gemarah seems to say two different opinions. Either time of Har Sinai, that's when the Bechoros stopped doing avodah, or from the time of the Mishkan. But now from Chet Ha'egel, the first to ask this question is Rabbi Mizrahi, the first Mefarsh on Rashi and Chumash, and he asks, brings on the pasuk there in Bamidbar, how does Rashi say that the Bechoros, the avodah stopped at the Bechoros only from Chet Ha'egel? So the Mizrahi says two different ways to explain it. One way is to say, really, the reason why the avodah stopped from the Bechoros is because Chet Ha'egel. But it was going to Koytem and Omar that already in Har Sinai, Kadosh Baruch Hu said to be mafish the Kohanim. But the reason the Kohanim were chosen early is because Kadosh Baruch Hu's galui v'yadua lefano of the Am Yisrael's gadu Chet Ha'egel. Kadosh Baruch Hu knows the future. He knows the Am Yisrael do Chet Ha'egel. So in order to already prevent that, he already prepared the Kohanim to be ready to take over. And that's why the Kohanim were nifchar in Ma'amad Har Sinai. But the reason why it says Chet Ha'egel in Rashi is because the trigger was Chet Ha'egel. The second answer of the Mizrahi is we're going to go to Omar that only from the Mishkan the Bechoros stopped the avodah. But why did they stop the avodah in the Mishkan? Because of Chet Ha'egel. They happened before. So even though Rashi says that from Chet Ha'egel the Bechoros stopped, but that means because of Chet Ha'egel stopped, even though it wasn't immediately, only when the Mishkan was built, that's when the Bechoros stopped doing the avodah. And very similar, says the Maharal in the Gemarah in Shmois Periklan Posik Tetzayin. He says that the Mishkan is Mokom Hashuas Hashchina. So it's not roy, it's not fitting for the people that did Chet Ha'egel to be oived in the Mishkan. But before the Mishkan was built, they still were doing avodah until the Mishkan was built. In a different place, in Shmois Periklan with base Pasuk Chavtes, the Maharal quotes the first answer of the Mizrahi, and he disagrees with it. And it seems to be what's bothering the Maharal to come and say the Kohanim were chosen in advance. It's very doichek to say. So he says the answer is like a second answer, that it was done after the Hegel, but only once the Mishkan was built. And we can add to this that the Mishkan is a siman kapara for Chet Ha'egel, as the pasuk says, Eile Pkudei Mishkan Eidu, says Rashi, Eidus leYisrael shekiper l'masa Ha'egel. So the Mishkan is rectifying Chet Ha'egel. So if the Bechoros were stopped doing the avodah from Chet Ha'egel going forward, but when did it come? When it was implemented? In the time of the Mishkan. Maybe one can suggest a third mahalach. And this we have a richus dvorim in this, but ain't kind of to be marich. But one diuk will do from the Rashi that we just quoted from Bamidbar. Rashi says if Ishaisa avodah b'Bechoros, the avodah was of the Bechoros, ukeshechatu b'egel nifsalo ve'alevim shlavdu avodah zarah nifchoru tachteim. Rashi speaks about the avodah, and then he goes to the Levim. And this goes to a big ha'ara. What did the Bechoros replace? Was it the Kohanim or the Levim? On one hand, we know that the avodah was Bechoros. That's our Gemarahs. The Bechoros are doing the avodah. I mean, they were the Kohanim. But on the other hand, Rashi is saying, and really it's clear from the Torah, that all the Bechoros were supposed to switch with what? With the Levim. There was a Levi per Bechor. Every Bechor was switched with a Levi. Meaning the Levim took over the Bechoros. So what was a Bechor before they did the Chet? What were they Kohanim or were they Levim? So the Chorah comes out that the Bechoros were both. There were Kohanim and there were Levim. The Bechoros did the whole thing. Then, once they lost it, so the Kohanim took over the Chelek HaAvodah, and the Levim took over the Chelek of the Kedusha. The Kohanim and Levim took over from the Bechoros, the Bechoros was supposed to be both, and it was split into Kohanim and Levim later. And this connects the Me'ashilach that we read before, the Losid Lavoi, you won't have the hierarchy of Kohanim, Levim, Yisraelim. So also before, a Bechor was a representative of each family, who was the Kedusha, who was the total Kedusha. After the Chet, now you have hierarchy, now you have Kohen, Levi, Yisrael, it splits into different levels of Kedusha. So maybe one could suggest like this. In Chet HaEgel, that's what Am Yisrael lost, the Chelik HaKedusha of Am Yisrael, and that went to the Levim. That already happened in Chet HaEgel. But at what stage they lost the Avodah, that's a two shittas in our Gemarah. One shitta says it happened in Har Sinai. The already Har Sinai, the Avodah was given to Kohanim. And the other shitta says it wasn't the Mishkan was built. It's two separate things. The Kedusha that went to Levim happened in Chet HaEgel. What happened to the Avodah that went to the Kohanim, that's our Sugya in our Gemarah. Maybe that's so you can answer this question. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Shor Machshava Shiurim, please email shormachshava@gmail.com.